What is up, everybody? This is Sports Star Brad Walker, and welcome inside the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Radio. Hopefully, everyone last week had a lovely Thanksgiving. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, hopefully you had a lovely Thursday. The crew will be back this week live. So we are back, guys. Hopefully, everyone is staying safe out there. If you are, we are In the Zone is selling promo gear, guys. Head over to squadlocker.com, type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. The website will present itself, and you can order your Zone gear. The holidays are coming. Buy some for your family and friends. Some Zone gear. The Walker Report, guys, is also sponsored by CreatingZenSpaces.com. For all the local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida, for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting, it's about finding the peace within you, adding comfort to your life. Like I said, guys, welcome in. I will be bringing on my co-host Adam here in just a few seconds. Lewis will be joining us later on in the show. So let's go ahead and bring Adam on. What's going on, buddy?
It's good to be back.
What's going on,
man? Fighting with the camera because apparently I'm not as centered as I thought I was. There we go. That is much better. On the broadcast, in the green room, I was good, and I come in the studio here and I look like crap.
So I have to adjust mine sometimes. Don't worry about it, but no problem. So, man, how was your Thanksgiving last week?
It was really good. It was quiet.
Good.
It was just my roommate was out of town, so it was just me here at the house. So I didn't go out and do anything because COVID and all that.
Right. All right.
Sat around, drank some beer, watched the fights.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Well, man, I get we'll go ahead and get started since, like I said, I think Lewis messaged us earlier.
Yeah. He was gonna be along later. So
again, man, I have to start with NASCAR. You're the NASCAR expert. I see that Daytona 500 is going to have a limited crowd, which is good.
Yeah, limited capacity.
Yeah. So it looks like it's scheduled for Valentine's Day on
February 14th.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I believe it's scheduled for the week after the Super Bowl.
Yes. Yep. I believe so too. Yeah. And the Super Bowl is on what? CBS this year, or on Fox? Which
I'm not sure if it's on. I think CBS sounds right.
Because it says that the race is on Fox, which I think that's where NASCAR is on Fox anyway.
Yeah.
So let's see. It says this includes the Busch Clash on February 9th, Daytona 500 qualifying on the 10th. Qualifying races on the 11th, truck race on the 12th, and the Xfinity and ARCA races on February 13th.
ARCA,
okay.
Yep, that's how they pronounce that.
Following the resumption of the 2020 season, Daytona played host to both the Gold Bowling 235 and Coke Zero Sugar 400. One was a road course. Okay, I do remember them racing on the road in Daytona. What's funny about that, but I mean, I know you know this, but a lot of people don't know that race actually used to take place on the beach. I know they don't do
way back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, these races on the beach.
Yeah, they decided they wanted something more permanent.
Well, no, I mean, I can personally say that I've been past the track, but never been to the track. So that's definitely that and Talladega, I think, are the two tracks that I want to go to.
It was a show. I mean, you know that as much.
Yeah.
I went to Talladega last year, and that was a whale of a night, day. Turned into a night. Drove home. That was a one-day show for me. That's where I got this hat.
Yep.
Got too many hats.
For retiring Jimmy Johnson, who will be shifting to IndyCar racing.
Yeah. So he did an IndyCar test earlier this week.
Now, but I think we talked about this when they're going to have a new car this year in NASCAR, right?
Next year.
Next year, okay.
2022. Well, it was supposed to be 2021, but with the pandemic, they ended up having to cancel all the testing, and they didn't resume testing until November of this year, just a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And so they delayed the introduction of the new car until 2022. Kind of a lame duck year, if you will, for the current gen car.
Now, but is it all the makers? Is it Ford, Chevy, Dodge?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's Ford, Chevy, and Toyota. They're all getting a new car starting in 2022.
So Dodge not make cars?
No, Dodge isn't. 2012 was their last year, I believe.
Okay.
2010, somewhere. It was in the late 20 aughts to early 20 teens.
So is Toyota's taken over the?
Yeah. Toyota's the third brand now.
Okay. See, I didn't know that. See, I thought Dodge was still making cars. Okay. Well, I know they make cars for driving and trucks. I know that.
No, they haven't had a. They haven't had it. I think there was a couple of one-off truck races that the Dodges made a run, but there's Lewis.
Mm-hmm. Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Okay. So I can click this off.
So there is no Thursday night game. I didn't think there was.
No Thursday night game this week.
Okay. No. So I'm not watching the Bucks and Chiefs again. So we're gonna. I'm not watching the Bucks and the Chiefs again. I watched that the other day.
Right.
I have on the UConn game actually right now.
Oh, where is that? Oh, is that on
ESPN?
ESPN.
You got the basketball game on.
Yeah.
Jeez.
UConn versus. Yeah.
There. SC, huh?
Yeah.
There's been some good college basketball games already. Kentucky got beat on the last second shot.
NC got beat on a by Texas.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
I mean, the good games. I thought that they weren't going to be held. I thought, because yesterday I was watching the Maui Invitational. I thought that was canceled. They just had it a week later. And same thing with Coaches versus Cancer. Like they do have it because those are like around. Well, the Coaches versus Cancer is first. That's like 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and then a week before is the Maui Invitational, which wasn't even playing in Maui this year. It was playing in North Carolina.
Was really?
Don't ask me why, but North Carolina.
Maui, North Carolina, they're close.
Yeah, by a few 2,500 miles or so. Yeah.
I mean, what's a beach among friends?
Not much.
They got white sand in North Carolina, right?
Why not go to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina?
There you go.
Myrtle Beach is a silly place. Let's not go to Myrtle Beach.
Diamond Head?
That's where all my friends go when they go to the beach. Is Myrtle Beach. It's about an 8-hour drive from here, give or take.
Right.
Okay. Well, it is B week, so Coach Valvano's week is going on right now.
B week,
yeah. That's
such a tragic story.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yep. I
remember when he said that speech.
Yeah. Well, I was like -8 at that point, but
I'm a pretty old guy, so
You're what, 28, 29?
50.
Somewhere in there, right?
No joke.
Right. You've seen a thing or two.
Oh, more than that.
Right.
It's since he's done that speech, all the ones that have preceded him are all just as, not saying that they're greater than Coach V, but like Stuart Scott's was great.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of
I miss him.
Or who was the basketball announcer that passed away?
Pat Summerall?
Or TBS. He was the guy that was on TBS.
Craig Sager.
Oh, yeah.
Sager.
He was one of my favorites.
Yep.
He had such a knowledge of the game. It was so fun to watch. He was funny without trying to be funny. I can't stand when people aren't funny and they're written to be funny, especially commentators when they're just not naturally funny and they're written to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
And it just comes off as awkward and annoying.
Well, commentators, I don't think we're meant to be funny, to be honest with you. I mean, Charles Barkley thinks he's trying to be funny, but actually it's pretty bad.
Charles Barkley is just Charles Barkley.
Indianapolis.
I love that clip of.
Oh, yuck.
I love that clip where they got him to say ass on national television. I'm Charles Barkley, and I'm a dumbass.
You said, not us.
Well, speaking of that, over the weekend, him and Phil Mickelson beat Steph Curry and Peyton Manning.
Really? Did they? I didn't watch. How did I miss that? That must have been fun.
Golf outing, right?
Golf, yeah.
Golf outing, right?
Yeah.
I missed that. I don't know where I was at.
Barkley's golf swing actually looks decent. That's why he's having a heart attack getting to the
That's
ball.
a miracle.
Yeah, it is a miracle. It's 2020, so there you go.
I know.
I mean, you got to throw that in there.
Right.
Strange things have happened this year, so now we're going to say that Charles Barkley has a natural golf swing. So there you go.
That could be the ridiculous moment of the week.
Yeah, there you go.
Comeback player. Hey, you got a PGA comeback player of the year. Century. Yeah. I mean, have you seen his swing?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and Steph Curry's I think he's a single digit handicap. He's a pretty good player.
Oh,
he's pretty much a scratch golfer, yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Golf is one of those things that if you can do it, you can do it.
Yes. Right. I'm playing golf in a tournament this weekend, so there you go.
Good luck.
Yeah, no, it's a charity event that's helping a local hospital here in the Tampa Bay area for the holidays. So
that's cool.
You got that
year. You got that over 100 handicap?
Yeah.
I thought it was 150. No.
150. There you go.
Either way.
Yeah, but to get to 150, you'd have to take off his shoes.
Right.
Yeah. I've done that a couple times, by the way.
I forgot I hit the water.
I've done that a few times. a few times.
Did you bring your swim fins too?
I'm close to it. I have the water with my shoes off, and yeah, it's not fun because if you fall in, I've never fallen in, but I'm sure you've watched YouTube clips of falling in the water. I've never done that, but that's got to be like the worst thing because that water is not the greatest.
That's water's gross.
Yeah,
so gross.
Yeah,
swamp water.
Yep.
But when you bring your swim fins, at that point, you're just retrieving balls, aren't you?
Pretty much.
Well, remember, you got to hit the ball where it lies,
There you go. That's true. Well,
I'll just take the stroke penalty. It'll be all right.
The funny thing is, there are people that actually get paid to dive into ponds at golf courses.
Yeah.
Golf balls.
Oh yeah.
So there are divers that actually get paid to do that. So.
Oh yeah.
That's funny on its own.
There's one guy who gets like $1 a ball.
There you go.
It varies depending on the better the ball is, the more money he can get from them. Because he'll dive all the water hazards. He'll go down, pick up as many balls as he can find, and then he takes them up to the clubhouse, and then they pay him for the balls, and then they resell the balls.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. No, because you run into alligators and whatever else is in those ponds too. So
right. Well, that's only if you're in Florida.
In Florida, that's true. Yeah. So again, we did have another sports legend pass away, Diego Mardona. I know you guys know who that is. I'm sure you guys know who that is.
Probably one of the top 5 world's greatest soccer players.
Correct, from Argentina.
Probably ranked second, only to Cristiano Ronaldo.
Mm.
Lewis, where do you rank Messi? In the top 5?
Oh, Messi too. Oh, Messi's got to be okay. I think Messi would be number 1.
Okay.
Ronaldo number 2.
Did you say Mardona 3?
Diego Maradona number 3. Yes.
That Pele would be what, 4 or 5 on that list?
Would be 4.
Yeah. 4.
Well, again, it's a generational thing because my generation was Pele.
Okay.
I mean, if you ask, anybody under the age of 30 or rather 35, I think they probably would say Diego, or maybe
Landon Donovan.
Yeah.
That's a bit of a stretch, but I like Donovan.
But he's the greatest American soccer player.
I'll give you that.
He's the one that got a generation of Americans into soccer. So, I mean,
yes.
I'm not saying that he's the greatest of all time. I'm not even saying he's top 10. But when you say soccer players, Ronaldo, Donovan, those are the names that, as much as I don't follow. David Beckham. Now, obviously, he's one of the big money guys. Not that I don't really know soccer, so I don't know where he ranks all time. But he was. Those would be some of the names that I would throw out there because they're just the names that I know.
Now, I believe that Diego Maradona, it was a heart attack that caused it.
Was
correct?
it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't follow soccer, so I had no idea who he was.
We'll help
Not
you.
that I wanted to see him die or anything, but I had no connection to him.
Yeah, but the whole country was in a state of mourning for like a week.
Of course.
There was rioting afterwards.
Well, it's Argentina.
Would
It
you
was
guys
scheduled rioting.
Would you guys say that his career was shortened due to his drug addiction? I know he had a drug addiction.
That would probably cause it right there. I mean, because the drugs will screw you up. So I would think a major role in it. Yes.
I'll have to defer to Lewis because I don't know anything about the guy.
I'm not taking anything away from his talent. I'm just saying that he did have a drug addiction problem. I'm not just like I'm not wishing death upon anybody. I watched a documentary about him on HBO about Diego, so I know who he is through the documentary. And like you said, Lewis, the country mourned his death, and the next day they rioted. So that's what they do in Argentina. So
yes.
And it was the weekly scheduled riot in Argentina. So I mean,
when they're one of their big sports stars dies, they let everyone know, hey, one of our big guys just died. So
well, they're losing the World Cup match. Mm-hmm.
Get there, yeah, yep.
Yeah, let's trash this place. We lost.
we won.
We won. Let's trash anyway.
Yeah, we didn't even play. Well, it's the weekly riot. It's already scheduled.
It's a draw. Okay. We'll riot if you want to riot.
I mean, I'm game if you're game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I already got a previously scheduled riot at 8:30.
Folks, you don't know what I go through on this show. Oh, okay. Wait to hear No.
Or is that Brazil? I could get the two confused.
Right.
Yeah. No, yeah. South America.
It is a sad statement, and I mean, it just was, that was kind of unexpected. I mean,
I
was suffering from anything like that, and then I hear it over the ESPN, over the site on about 10 days now. I'm like, oh wow, this is a big shock.
Yeah,
big shock. Yep.
Yeah. I kid our Argentinian big viewers,
Yeah, just in case.
yeah, just in case one of them happened to pop in here,
Yeah, sure.
That would be interesting, actually, if we did have someone pop in here that didn't speak English. That would be
right.
That would be interesting.
Yeah.
It would be a thing. Speaking of unfortunate passings, did you hear about Pat Patterson?
I did hear about Pat Patterson.
I'm not familiar with him.
He was the creator of the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah, I just know the name. I know
the first openly gay wrestler.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're on the topic of wrestling, did you guys see that Sting signed with the AEW?
I haven't seen any. So I didn't hear. I just happened to be watching AEW last night. Like, I'm gonna give this thing a watch because I watched SmackDown Friday night because we was off and didn't have anything else on. So I watched a bit of SmackDown. I was like, yeah, this is why I don't watch the WWE anymore. And it's all old recycled trash that I've seen 20 years ago done by much better actors. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It's just I can't get into it. I can't watch it. I mean, like I'm watching it and I'm like, this is the reason why I turned it off. Pointless backstage nonsense.
Right.
Pointless cutscenes, if you will. I don't know, talky bits.
You mean it's edited?
They're not. I don't feel like they're telling a story. Like that was one of the appeals about the Attitude Era. And of course, you're always drawn to the area you grew up in. And I don't know how much wrestling you were into, Lewis. I don't know if you ever.
When I was young, I was really into it. But when I got older and knew how fake it was, I'm like, oh please, really?
Right. Well, and that I know a lot of people the fakeness is a turnoff, but for me, it's like any other television show. Like, Game of Thrones or Star Wars. I know that none of that stuff. None of that.
Game of Thrones. Don't mess with Game of Thrones.
Well, I'm not saying anything negative about Game of Thrones. I'm just saying that, none of that stuff is real. The dragons aren't real. And so I understand that it's all a work 90% of the time. So, of course, you have your accidents and you have shoots and people go off script and whatever. But it's me, Austin.
It was in the last episode, too. Last episode, he was sitting next to a fiber. Hi, I'm your fire-breathing dragon. Yeah. Oh, hi. Mind I breathe on you? Oh, yeah.
And so getting back to Sting, I didn't know he had signed with AEW. Had that been announced?
Yeah, they announced it. Yeah.
Because I hadn't heard that, so I was just happy to have it on last night. I was like, all right, let's check this out and see if it's any good. I'm actually remembered that it was on, so I turned it on, and they had some. It was the only two I knew were old WWE guys. Dusty Rhodes and Cody Rhodes were the two that I knew in the match.
Right.
And and then Arn Anderson and Taz were there too. And Arn Anderson is an old man, and so is Taz.
Yeah.
And they both looked like they were in their 50s. And then the lights went out, and the music hit, and the snow. It was really cool. It was really cool. Yeah. It was a really cool moment.
Speaking of guys in their 50s, and I think Riley might know where I'm going with this, but you know about the so-called new version of boxing called senior citizen boxing, right?
Yeah. Yeah. At the Denny's at 5:30.
Yes. Yeah.
I said
Mike Tyson.
Hey, that was a good fight.
Was it? I didn't watch.
I had fun. I had fun.
I was not able to see. I was trying to stream it, but it wouldn't go through. But I was keeping tabs on it, and they actually did go the distance. I thought it wasn't gonna last long. I thought maybe they would quit if I got those first 30 seconds. To be honest with you,
it was a fun fight.
Why are we doing this?
I enjoyed the fight. Was it the greatest boxing match of history? Haymakers traded left and right? No, but it was a fun boxing match. It was a bit more of I would call it an aggressive sparring session.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was fun. I mean, for what it was, I was expecting an unmitigated shit show. So they didn't fall, and neither one of them pooped their pants.
I would have paid to see that though.
They didn't look like. Honestly, they looked like 50-year-old boxers. They didn't look like 50-year-old. They didn't look like your two drunk uncles out there, throwing haymakers after somebody ate the last pizza pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, they look like old boxers. I'm not saying that I want to see Mike Tyson fight a 22-year-old. But if Holyfield wants to come and throw hands for 6 rounds in a real let's go.
I don't know, man. I mean, the thought of 50-plus-year-old boxers fighting, I mean, that can do a lot of damage because how much stamina do you think they got left in them? I mean, they're past their prime. I think anybody boxers over the age of 40 is nuts. I mean, now you guys, of course, are younger than I am, but I remember Ali's last fight, and he was about 40, 41 years old, and he looked absolutely awful.
Yeah.
And he knew when to hang it up. You got to learn how to hang it up. And if I still have my Sports Illustrated collection from a long time ago, I still would have saved the Muhammad Ali with the cover on it, The Last Hurrah, because I had that, and I still remember that. And he lost that last fight too.
Well, speaking of that, Lewis, you just brought that up. There is going to be a fighter that's 47 that wants to come out and fight. Oscar De La Hoya wants to challenge Triple G. I wish him the best.
Oh, that's an ass-whooping waiting to happen.
I wish him the best of luck in that fight because Triple G has gone toe-to-toe with Canelo. So good luck.
3 times.
Good luck with that. So
he fought Canelo 3 times.
Yeah. I wish him the best of luck.
That's insane.
Yeah,
I thought Oscar learned his lesson when Pacquiao beat his ass.
Yeah.
Going to be in this.
Yeah, it says that he's 90% sure he's going to come back the first quarter of next year at 47, and Triple G is 38 on December 18th.
Yeah, kind of old for that too. Kind of old.
Yeah, I didn't realize Triple G was that old.
Yeah.
I thought he was late 20s, early 30s.
What's his IQ? Oh dear.
Well, I mean, again, that's just as we talked before too with the Wilder, Fury fight. Why in the hell would you go back after you got whip in the second fight? Why would you want to go back for a third one other than a payday?
Revenge.
Right.
What else?
Well, yeah, revenge. Absolutely. I'm just saying, why do you want to go back?
You know, with the De La Hoya thing,
Yeah.
I mean, I would think that you were so far. He when he finally hung up the gloves, he was so far out of his prime that I couldn't see him coming back.
Yeah.
And having any kind of redemption arc. I mean, he's 47. I mean, when Foreman won his title at 44, he had 3 fights left in him. You know, it wasn't like he had another decade of dominance. He just caught a hot streak right there at the end of his career.
Right.
And 44 seems to be that threshold for where you're too old to throw anymore. Right. Now De La Hoya would be fighting at middleweight, and one of the things about middleweight is that speed is the first thing to go. And when you're a smaller guy, that's what you rely on is speed, hand speed, and foot speed, and that's gone. When that's gone, it's gone, and there's no getting it back.
That's gone. You're gone.
Right.
And so it's not like he can go. It's not like he's got a puncher's chance where he can throw one right hand in a fight. Middleweight, it's anything below light heavyweight, and it's all about technical boxing. It's scoring points, not getting, it's landing good shots and not taking any shots. It's about sticking and moving and being technical with your footwork, with your hands, covering up and keeping yourself in a good position to counter punching. And just as at a certain point, you're just an old guy.
Yeah. Well, that's like I said, I was surprised when I saw that article earlier. I'm like, I gotta bring that up, that he wants to come out. The only thing I can think of is, like you guys were just talking about, you had, the Tyson Jones fight. They're 50, so you think, you know what, I'm going to go out. And again, I want to say, I think Canelo just left his promotion. I know they have a contract, so maybe Oscar's thinking, I need a payday. So I want to challenge Triple G, but again, I wish him the best of luck, because Triple G, again, has gone toe-to-toe in 3 fights with Canelo. So good luck.
Right.
Good luck.
Not a fight I would take. Not offhand, at least.
Yeah. No, it's just I don't know. I don't know if it's just don't know when to hang it up and be done.
Some people don't. They want to hold on to that glory.
Right. They say pride goeth before the fall.
Yes. Yeah. I've heard that.
Yep. Let's see. It's something about. Hang on, guys. I'm reading about the. I guess the XFL is going to have a team in Dallas.
What? They're going to come back after all? Oh, come on.
I don't think it's not coming back till 2022. They won't be back next season. It's 2022 when they're eyeing a return. I think, Lewis, we've talked about this many times. The charm, I don't know what. Again, me and Adam were talking about this too, that, personally, they're going to have to pay their athletes a hell of a lot more than they did the last time they owed them.
Right. You can't get $1.25.
And second of all, you can't compete with the NFL, so don't even think
never.
So you're going to have it. I think Adam said something about early season.
I just don't get it. Other leagues that folded, they didn't come back. The XFL, they failed back in 2001, so they figured that had to be in that, but they tried to come back, last year, and that failed too, although it wasn't entirely by anybody's fault. Because but the third time, I mean, you bombed out twice. Why would you want to come back for a third time? I mean, why can't you just die quietly like all the other leagues?
It's The Rock. That's it. It's The Rock. It's Dwayne Johnson.
They don't have enough money.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the thing about the NFL and all the other major professional sports is that the owners have money.
Yes.
And see, that's what these minor leagues are lacking is money. You can't just have $1 billion. You've got to have 10 guys with $1 billion.
Right.
Because you've got to be able to pay your athletes. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is going to be. He's looking at either going back to school for another year, going to the Jets or the Jags, or the XFL. Well, if he goes back to school, he might have a shot at getting a better gig than. It might hurt his draft stock. He might slip in the draft and have a better, option. He could have another huge year. He could go for win a Heisman because he's not going to win it this year, unfortunately.
No.
Or he could go to the XFL for $35 an hour.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And see
I think the first option.
Yeah, I was gonna say option one probably.
Right. Option one is the most logical option as it sits right now. I mean, but if you're looking, so let's say he goes back to school for a year, right?
Yes.
And you're looking at the 2022 season, unless the Jets are still stinky because it's the Jets, or the Jags. We'll go with the Jags.
Yeah.
We'll spare Lewis the pain. We'll go with the Jags. We'll say the 2021, Jets turned it around. They got themselves a Super Bowl. And the Jags, they're still stinky. They're getting ready to move to London. And so, and if you're Trevor Lawrence, and listen, this is the draft of the 2020, it's spring 2022, and you're looking at the XFL, whatever you majored in college, or the NFL.
Yeah.
You're going to sign with the NFL every time.
Right.
The NFL has the hundreds of millions of dollars. Even if every owner had $100 million to put up, it's still not enough to fill out it's still not enough to fill out a halfway decent roster.
Of course not. But you figure because there have been, I think, 9 professional football leagues that have folded, within the last 70 years. There was the original AFL, not the one from the Jets came, but there was another AFL back in the 40s,
right?
And 50s, the AAFC, the World League of 74, 75, and everybody thought that was going to be a challenge. It wasn't. The USFL, which was the most successful, it lasted 3 seasons, and I think they should have stayed. And that didn't go. The World League failed twice.
Yeah.
Well, first it was the US and Europe, then the US folded, and then the European just took over, and that didn't do any good. So every league that has tried to match up with the NFL has failed every time. But, I mean, to think that from a league that has already failed twice, you're doing it again. Why can't you just accept it and give up like all the other ones did? Oh, and don't forget about, of course, the most famous one of all. That was the real big flop. And
yeah.
You're going to make me say it, aren't you?
Yep, I sure am.
Okay, the AAF.
Yeah. No,
I don't know if that's where we're going, but
I don't know, Lewis. Honestly, if it's just The Rock's ego of him wanting to bring back, trying to, because he even now again, as you guys know, Vince McMahon owned the league and all the teams,
right?
So all went through him anyway. And I think he discussed something about that. He was hoping to land a bigger TV deal by next season. Obviously, if COVID had not derailed their season like it did, they were hoping to land a bigger, TV deal or land some new teams. But I went to a couple Vipers games, and there were people there, but not what you see for a Bucks game or for even for a human. Not bad, but I'm just saying, it's not the same crowd.
No.
One of the guys that I ran into this year that's a big Bucks fan told me he was a season ticket holder for the Vipers, and they gave each of their season ticket holders 20 free tickets for a game to get people to come. So there you go. I mean, how are you going to make money when you're giving away that many free tickets?
You're not.
No, exactly.
Well, you're
going to make. You got
the only saving grace in that is that a sat-in seat. Actually, you get merchandise sales, you get concession sales, and you get parking lot sales. Ticket. You may not, it may. Yeah, of course, you'd want to sell $100 ticket, but if you're not going to sell that ticket, an empty seat is going to make you absolutely no money.
Right.
A filled seat is going to make you some money.
True.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I mean, it's better, like you said, it's better. Like we were just talking before Lewis popped in here about the Daytona 500 having fans. So they're going to have fans there this year. So it's better than having empty seats and having at least somebody at Daytona this year. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see. Gary Bettman does not want to renegotiate the CBA.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's going on with that.
He's a moron.
I don't even know when the season's going to start. I've heard January 1st. So I don't know exactly when the season's going to begin for the National Hockey League.
If you believe the owner of the Vegas Knights, which I don't, he's saying not until at least till February. I mean, I don't like Bettman at all. I mean, but I think I take his word over some owner of a team, because he is the commissioner, even though I don't like him. I mean, because he's almost destroyed the league.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yet, for 27 years been commissioner. How? I'll never know.
Right.
Well, again, you have to ask the owners because they're the ones who hire him. That's the thing.
They're the ones that are writing his stupid paycheck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, you guys are stupid for hiring him as your commissioner.
That's true. That's true.
Yep.
And people call me stupid. Okay.
Well, here's the question:
Stupid is and stupid does.
I mean, so he by far is the worst commissioner of the four, right? Major commissioners. Okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Until Rob Manfred does something incredibly stupid.
He's a close second. He's a close second.
I say he's a very close second. He's a very close second.
Hold my beer and watch this, Rob Manfred.
Yeah, I get this. Sports commissioners separated at birth by way of stupidity.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, so then the top two are Adam Silver and Roger Goodell, right? Is that how you rank them?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you want to put in the commissioner of the MLS, which I forget his name, we can put that into. Okay.
Yeah, okay. That guy.
But of course, nobody pays attention to that, so we don't really count that.
He's my favorite non-person.
Doesn't the NCAA have a lead guy too? Don't they have a lead person?
I think they do. But they don't really do college commissioners, though.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I mean, do you think that they should have a college? Every conference should have their own commissioner?
They do.
They
the
do.
Big Ten has, the Big Ten has a commissioner. I don't know if anybody else does, but I know the Big Ten does.
Right.
Okay.
The Big East, which I'm glad is reformed because I'm glad UConn's back in the Big East because that was dumb.
They belong in the Big East. UConn, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, that you moved out of the American. Are you sure about that?
Yes.
They just belong in the Big. They like Michigan.
They are the Big East. They won 3 times.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
excuse me.
If you want to look at the history of both their basketball teams, you got Jim Calhoun, who was great when he was there.
Yep.
And of course, you have the women's team is the best in the country. So there you go. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So and now with that's the interesting part is now that they're in the Big East, they don't really have. They'll play out of conference games, but they don't have anyone in the conference that's going to really challenge them.
No.
Especially on the ladies' side. The men's side, I'm not sure, but the ladies' side, because also too, UConn moved out of the AAC, and so did UMass. Did also.
Yeah, they went independent.
They went independent. So they're independent. So, and I remember when UMass was a great basketball team. They were one of the top basketball programs in the country at one time.
Yep.
So,
yes.
The UMass Minutemen. I remember watching them.
I remember.
That was the early 90s.
Yep.
A little bit before my time.
But let's say, speaking of college, so which coaches are on the hot seat? Michigan, Texas, both of them are going to be gone. You think both?
Harbaugh won't leave.
Okay. Do you think Tom Herman at Houston? You think he's done? You think he's gone this year?
I would say
Texas is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Tom Herman is their head coach. Yep.
Yeah, I'd say he's getting the axe.
Yes.
And it looks like Will Muschamp is
already gone.
They fired Derek Mason at Vanderbilt, so that's interesting.
Yep, they fired him last week.
Yes.
Yeah, they fired him on Monday morning. That's gotta be the worst feeling in the world.
Well, I mean, you're at a school that really there's not really a lot of high hopes.
Yeah.
I mean, there isn't for Vanderbilt. They're out of the SEC. So
yeah, it's a freaking doormat.
So I mean, there's where you think too. Like you guys said, UConn moving out of the AAC or UMass going independent. Do you think maybe it's time for Vanderbilt to say, you know what, guys, we don't belong in this conference. We need to get out of here. Obviously,
take Missouri with you.
The SEC must pay them enough to keep them in there. That's all I'm saying.
I wish Rutgers would get a Big Ten football though. Oh, what a joke!
Yeah,
what a joke!
You can keep.
Rutgers was in the Big Ten, right? Before they moved, Or, yeah.
That's the problem because of Big Ten football, they can't even compete. They're horrible. They get blown out almost every week.
Well, isn't that the same with Maryland? Isn't that the same with Maryland? I mean, I know Maryland's had some games this year, but previous, Maryland's there for basketball, right? Is that what Maryland's in the Big Ten for?
Yeah.
Yes.
And getting their ass kicked on Saturdays.
Because they were one of the first teams in the ACC. So they were one of the original teams that formed the ACC. So
they need to go back to the ACC.
Big Ten must have greased their hands enough to get them to come to the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But that's what they're talking about too. I've heard that if Michigan cancels their game against Ohio State, it takes them out of a chance to be in the Big Ten championship game.
They'll make an exception.
There's
no way in hell that Ohio State's not going to go play in the Big Ten championship game.
Even despite the lack of games they've had this season.
Yep, there's no way in hell that the Big Ten will let that happen. Not especially if they're 5-0. If they're 5-0, if they beat Michigan State tomorrow, or not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, Saturday.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, that's what they I guess Kirk Herbstreit said something about that.
Yeah.
Could end up canceling the game
because they canceled this week's game against Maryland. And they don't know if they're going to be able to get in because they're not going to be able to start practicing again until the 7th.
Monday.
Okay. Yeah,
I think Monday. I think they might be able to do it.
It all depends on how the testing goes for the rest of the week.
That's true too. Yeah.
If they can't, the earliest they're going to be able to get back to practice is Monday.
Yes.
Now, if they pop positive on Saturday or Sunday or Monday morning when they get to the facilities, they shut everything back down. It's all over. If you can't get a full week of practice in, forget it.
Were there any of the games, guys, last week that jumped out at you as far as college goes? With any upsets, anything going on that jumped out at you last week?
That was a week ago.
Yeah.
Oh, God, this week has been a long week.
Yeah.
Notre Dame, North Carolina. I was actually watching that game. When
I was in and out for that game. I
got to go to the USF UCF game, so I'm happy. I know they lost, but I got to go to the
right.
So that was cool. That was very, very cool to go to the game and actually experience that rivalry that you don't get to all the time. I know the Oregon State-Oregon game was fun.
Oh, that was a hell of a ball game.
That was fun to watch. That game was fun to watch.
That was the best game of the year.
What's their bowl game called? What's their rivalry called? They have a rivalry name.
Yeah, the Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Civil War. Okay.
Yeah, but I was paying attention to one of the Iron Bowl. So
that was a dog. That's a dog from the kickoff.
Yeah.
It was. It's usually a better game, but not this year.
Yeah, I could have told you.
When does Washington play Washington State? That this week?
This week? That's the Apple Cup? Yeah, that's
this week.
Yeah. Sometimes that's a good game.
It lost a lot of its luster because of their coaching. The coaching changed.
Well, that'll kill you, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, the Iron Bowl was last week, and that wasn't a good game.
No.
It was disappointing. It was like 45-3 or something like that. The final. It was ugly. It was ugly early, and I never even turned it on.
No Apple Cup this week because Stanford's playing Washington, so no.
I got you.
Okay.
Maybe it's next week, or they may not be. They may be one game that got canceled.
Well, I know not this week, but next week is the Army Navy game, right? Next Saturday is the Army Navy game. Yeah.
Isn't it? Are you sure it's not the Saturday after that?
Nope.
No, it's the 12th, I believe. Is when it's scheduled. Yeah. Navy has new uniforms. I got to see them the other day. Pretty cool. Navy's got new unis. Not really too much. I mean, Florida's at Tennessee. That should be a blowout game. They'll beat the SEC East. Alabama's playing LSU, so I don't know if that's anything.
That's gonna be that's not even worth watching. Alabama by 40.
I think it might be fun to watch.
Bama by 40.
That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Saturday. So, and then you have the undefeated BYU Tigers against Coastal Carolina because that game, their Liberty game, got canceled. So they got BYU to come play with them.
That should be a fun one.
That should be
undefeated. Two undefeated teams. Well, that's the whole thing. Do you think that the committee will go to 8 teams and put in one of those teams like that?
Not a snowball's chance in hell.
Okay.
They should, but I think I agree with that. But I think they should do it. And BYU is getting really gypped. I mean, they're undefeated and they're not even ranked in the top 10. I mean, I know it's not much of a conference, but come on, give credit where credit is due. They deserve to be higher ranked than that. But the committee is so sentimental. Like, it's not a big Power 5 conference. So what? Forget about that. Especially this year. Throw all that stuff out. That's this has been an unconventional year, so you might as well just have unconventional rules.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You have 8 teams, get the Power 5 in there, and
and the 3 at large,
and have 3 at large bids. Have them again. We all know there's no snowball chance in hell they're going to beat Alabama, Clemson, any of that. That's not going to happen. But you know what? You put them in there, and you never know what might happen. You never know what might happen.
They can, but it's just not likely to happen.
Right.
Because, look at Boise State beating Oklahoma. No one thought that was going to happen.
Oh, that was one of the best ball games I've ever watched.
So that's what I'm saying. You never know. I know. But it would be kind of cool to see a Cincinnati or a BYU or a Coastal Carolina playing a power team because, all the people that bitch down here, UCF, they bitch because they didn't get a chance to play. They lost 3 games this year, but they bitched about it. Oh, we should be playing for a national championship. Okay. Go up against Alabama.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah. You may get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
you just might
about
get
Central Florida, who were unbeaten twice, and they never got to play in the big game. We're the real national champions. We're undefeated, but we got screwed.
Yeah. No,
you did.
I got 5 fingers here. You know which one I'm giving you.
Yeah, no, I heard it. You being down here, we heard it.
I know. I know you. I was. Yeah.
We heard it.
Yeah, so. You hear him talk.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know. Who does Florida have left?
We have Tennessee, and then we play LSU.
Okay. And who does A&M have left?
Texas A&M's playing somebody. Auburn this week. They should have that problem. Yeah. They should beat Auburn this week. I know they're on the road, but see the problem with Texas A&M is they're in the SEC West. Their one loss is against Alabama, so that's what hurts them.
Right.
That's what hurts them.
They've got Auburn and Tennessee next. Oh, okay. So crazy scenario.
Very.
Oklahoma. Can I speak English? It would help. Ohio State misses the Michigan game and doesn't get to go to the Big Ten championship game. Florida loses to who did you say they have left?
Tennessee and LSU.
They lose to LSU. They're 8-2, and Cincinnati runs the table. A&M loses to Auburn and Tennessee, so they slip to 7-4.
Yes,
or 7-3. Sorry, I misspoke. And then Ohio State is as 5-0. Can Cincinnati jump those 3 teams and get into the playoff? Or does a 5-0 Ohio State that doesn't go play in the Big Ten championship, does it remain 4?
Ohio State will get in because again, it all boils down to money. Who's going to give you more money on TV? Ohio State will, not Cincinnati. Because no one outside of the state of Ohio, they don't know who Cincinnati is unless you are, like me, who covers USF and knows who they are. Other than that, you don't know who they are.
Right. I'm a football nerd, and I watch every game I can get my hands on, so I know who Cincinnati is. I know the 3 of us know who they are.
Absolutely.
But we don't count for nothing, so we're very small fish in a very, very large ocean.
We're amateurs trying to succeed at the pro level.
Right. Hey, I'd be happy to succeed at the amateur level. Let's aim small,
bro.
Right.
So yeah, that's yeah. No, I mean to be honest with you, but no, I don't think you'd see them because
A 5-0 Ohio State would stay ahead of an
if
undefeated Cincinnati.
Florida goes to the SEC championship game, whether they lose to LSU or not,
Mm.
they're still going to go to the SEC title game. They beat this week, they're in. So
yeah.
The LSU game don't mean anything for them. They lose. Actually, you don't want to lose a game this late in the season anyway, but still, it doesn't matter. They have to beat Alabama, which, again, I don't know with the defense struggles that Florida has. Again, I hate to say that because that's my football team, but they do struggle with defense. I don't know if they can beat Alabama. I really don't. I don't think there's not really a lot of teams out there that you could pinpoint that could actually beat them right now.
You can hang with Alabama, let alone beat them?
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Notre Dame, I don't know. I don't really know who you can put up there.
Yeah, I don't know.
To beat them. I know everyone out there that's not a non-Alabama fan hates to hear that, but
it's the truth.
It's the truth. You know, I mean,
I believe it is.
Yeah, I mean, again, it gets to the point where we all get sick and tired of seeing the same teams in the champ. But the best is the best. You can't help that.
Right? No, you can't. I mean,
you can't help it.
I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to root for a winner.
True.
The only reason I just hate Nick Saban. I hate him with all my fiber. Every fiber of I hate him like 1,000 German. I hate him with the fiery passion of 1,000 Foreman grills.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of people that do.
And the reason I hate Nick Saban is simply because when he was at Michigan State, he got on TV, he had a press conference, and said, "I'm not leaving. These are my boys." Next thing you know, he's off to LSU. Goes to LSU, wins the national title at LSU, says, "I'm not going anywhere. These are my boys."
Miami.
Goes to Miami. Stinks up the joint in Miami. "I'm not going anywhere. These are my boys." And goes off to Alabama.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I had to censor myself there because there was a whole lot of bad words that were in that sentence.
Right.
No, I
he's a nice guy too.
I remember when he left Miami after he was fired. They said, "Oh, he's on a plane to Alabama." And I'm like, "He's going to Tuscaloosa." We all knew it where he was going to go. We knew that.
Yep.
You're like, "Oh, great! Now the SEC is going to be dominated by Bama for the next 10 or 15 years since he's going to be there." And it's been so.
It's like the old Bear Bryant days, like all over again.
Yeah. I mean, yes, it is Alabama, and yes, they're in my conference. But if they win a national title, it makes the conference look good. So
yeah, it does.
Think about Tom Osborne with Nebraska.
There you go. Well, Tom Osborne and the Nebraska Cornhuskers kicked the shit out of Florida one year in the national title game. I remember that game. Well, that was not a good game for the Gators. Nebraska beat them in every aspect of that.
Beat them like a redheaded stepchild.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. That is
the redheaded stepchild. Yeah,
that is correct.
No, I have no love lost between me and Nick Saban. I will say this: he's a hell of a football coach.
He is a hell of a football coach. I will give him.
I can't say credit where credit is due. You don't gotta like the guy, but you do have to respect his accomplishments.
It's a Bill Belichick disciple.
He's the Bill Belichick of the of college football.
They coached together in Cleveland, so yes, they coached together in Cleveland. So I'm just saying.
Is there any better? I mean, he's been so dominant since 2006. I mean, he took a stagnant, terrible Alabama program and turned them into a juggernaut.
Yep.
It's like he's got the NCAA on powder puff.
Yeah, I don't
turn the game, take the game off a rookie there, Bal.
I don't really know if there's anyone in the country that can hang with them. I really don't.
Yeah, in college football, no. I don't know. Clemson,
Ohio State, I don't know.
Ohio State's gonna get rolled up like a cheap suit, man.
Don't tell their fans that because they think.
I'll tell it to their faces too.
Yeah, there's no college football outside of the state of Ohio for them.
No.
I know. You got to remember who you're talking to. I'll tell it right to their face, though.
Oh no, because
yeah. I ain't got any problem talking crap to those guys.
But I mean, my brother-in-law is a Buckeye fan, so I got
my freaking boss is a Buckeye fan. He's from Columbus.
Yeah.
What's that?
That explains it.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes into the office and he puts his laptop on the desk, and I'm like, "Is that a Cleveland Brown?" Oh my god, we can't be friends anymore. Get out of my face. Nah, he's a really good guy. I like talking to him though. He's a good guy. So can't give him too much.
Well,
I can't talk too much shit because we ain't. It's no fun being bad.
well, no, that's what I'm saying. But you can save that all up when Michigan finally beats them.
Yeah, I know. Hopefully next Saturday.
That would be great. I would.
Yeah, I know, right?
I would love.
It'd be very as terrible as 20. It'd be put the cap on the 2020 season that I'd like to forget.
Harbaugh wins at Ohio State. The last.
Yeah, if he could go into Ohio State and knock them bastards off.
Yeah, it could happen.
I mean, it could happen.
It could happen.
I was, a little bit of excess. Again, it's like we always talk about. Football is the same game it was 60 years ago. It hasn't changed. It's a fundamental football. Good quarterback play. A gap integrity. Know your assignment. Stay with your assignment. Yes. Don't keep everything in front of you. Come up, wrap up, tackle. It's like there's old clips of Vince Lombardi back in the 60s with the Packers. He's out there screaming on the sidelines. Everybody's grabbing. Grab. This is 60 years ago. The same thing happens today. 60 years later, everybody's grabbing. Nobody's tackling. You get a seal here and a seal here, and you go up through the gap.
Right.
It's the same thing. Football is fundamentally the same thing that's always been. Gap integrity, staying home, don't get caught in the wash, and make the plays. Don't try to win the game on every play.
No, I'm a football fan.
I know you guys are. So I'm just preaching to the choir here. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Or no, I mean, would you guys say that that's the greatest game right now? Would you say football is the greatest game out there? I mean, what do you put the top? Anything basketball? I mean, what would top the?
Well,
in America, it's football by a landslide. In the world, it's soccer.
Soccer. I was gonna say soccer, right? Yeah.
I think it goes world soccer, like FIFA World Cup soccer, the Super Bowl, and then international basketball.
Okay.
Like everybody, like in the U.S., you either want to play football or basketball. In the world, you're either going to play soccer or basketball. Mm-hmm. Like if you're in China and you're a superstar athlete, maybe the Olympics might be a close fourth.
Yeah.
Maybe, and you might see like in the northern climes, like Finland, Norway, in the Scandinavian countries, Canada, hockey is very, very popular. Anywhere cold, you got hockey. Yes. Any kind of F1 would be the dominant motorsport right now.
And in Latin America, it'd be baseball.
Yeah. Baseball. I agree.
Now, what would you guys consider the greatest trophy? Would you consider the gold medal trophy or Stanley Cup? Stanley Cup. Okay.
By far, it's the greatest trophy.
You broke that up a bit. So say it again.
Stanley Cup.
Stanley. He said which is the greatest trophy, Lewis? A gold medal, Stanley Cup, World Series.
Oh boy. Well, I'll say one thing. If you will, what the toughest one is, it's got to be the Stanley Cup.
Yes, I agree.
Whereas going 2 months of agony, not to mention all the sudden death overtime. Which
my God, there's nothing better than sudden death overtime playoff hockey.
Exactly, because it's
5 overtimes, baby. 5 over. That was a hell of a game.
20 years. I'm like, this is still going on. I don't believe this.
Game 7.
Well, I got off. It was funny because I messaged him when I got off work. I said, "What did I miss?" He's like, "Oh, it's tied 1-1 at the beginning of the first overtime." Yeah. And I'm like, "Looks like I missed a hell of a game." He's like, "I didn't even miss a game. I watched another game and a half."
Yeah. Yep.
There's nothing. The next game until the next day.
Yeah, I know, right? It's nothing better, man. I think the most prestigious trophy is probably the Stanley Cup. I think if you nailed down a sports fan, you said put a gun to their head and said what's the most prestigious, okay, you can win one trophy, and especially for anyone that's more than just a casual fan of all sports. Yeah. I think it would probably either that or like FIFA would, like a World Cup would be very, very popular.
Right.
Now, would you say the World Cup is harder to get than a Premier League Premier League trophy or any of the? Okay. I was just curious on how you guys thought about ranking the trophy. So Stanley Cup would be up there as number one. I think I would say the same thing.
And I think then you'd have to go like internationally. If you're talking especially North America, the Stanley Cup would be number one. In the Scandinavian countries, Canada, Russia. I meant Norway, Russia, Finland. I think Stanley Cup would be very, very, very close to the top. And then I think a gold medal would be way up there.
Well, a gold medal can be a team thing or an individual thing too.
Right.
Yeah. So, depending on what event you're in.
Right. Because the Stanley Cup, it's both an individual, it's both an individual award and a team award.
Yes.
Right.
Because every player, it's like you think about it how like the Conn Smythe is the best player in the playoffs, right? And the Stanley Cup is awarded to the best team. But every member on the best team every year gets their name engraved on the Stanley Cup forever.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And then the true Stanley Cup is like 34 foot tall or some crazy shit like that.
Someone told me that they're retiring the two bowls, the bottom bowls or something like that.
The bottom bands, they add another. They're gonna. These two bands will go. The bottom two bands will go to the Hall of Fame,
right.
And they'll add, and then everything moves down to, and they'll put new bands on top.
Okay, yeah,
I believe so. That's the way.
Bowl games have canceled 3 so far.
Yeah, the Pinstripe Bowl.
Damn. The Vegas Bowl.
Vegas. Yep.
Well, don't cancel the Outback Bowl. I want to go to that again. That was so fun last year.
That was a hell of a ball game last year.
Auburn, Minnesota last year. So that
yeah. Okay. I saw Pasadena that the Rose Bowl is going to have no fans.
Okay.
Right.
That broke when we were on just before we came on the air tonight.
Oh, I thought they would have done that a long time ago, though. To be honest.
I just saw it tonight on the ticker. Yeah. I had ESPN on for a hot second.
Anyway, though, regardless. So I mean,
it's kind of a pretty much a foregone conclusion.
No, it's not a surprise.
Right.
I made the announcement sooner. Surprised it got long.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they may have been trying to wait until we had a vaccine to. Right.
Well, the vaccine is just not going to be available in time.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. They may have been trying to see if the vaccine was going to be available, and they need to get and the vaccine was not going to be ready until they had a demarcation day, and this was the day where if we don't have some kind of progress on a vaccine or on a distribution, we're going to have to cancel. We're going to have to bar fans.
Yeah. So you can't. I get why you had to cancel the Pinstripe Bowl, but I like Yankee Stadium. It's close.
Me too.
It's close to my area. I'm like, that's a shame.
Yeah, I understand. That's one of those games that it's either really good or it's really terrible.
I think it's really good. Okay, so it's not among the major bowls like the Rolls or Sugar Cup.
Right.
It's Yankee Stadium, man.
Well, I know. I meant like the play. It's either a really great game, it's a lot of fun to watch, or it's a 6-10 punt fest. It's either one or the other, really.
Right.
I'm not saying anything about Yankee Stadium, or I'm just talking about the play on the field itself.
Right. Well, keep in mind it is the beginning of winter, and of course it does make it hard to play the Yankees.
Oh yeah. That could always be fun. I love a good weather game.
Yeah, but not for nothing. But Yankee Stadium was not designed for football.
No, it wasn't. Not the new Yankee Stadium, at least.
No. Or Yale, because the Yale Bowl, because Well, don't forget the Yankees did play at Yale for 2 years.
Did they?
Remember, the old stadium was remodeled in 74 and 75.
Okay.
Play there until 76, and they call it was not considered a new stadium, just
a remodel.
The old stadium. So
right.
It was the same stadium, just a new look.
Right. They had updated it in the mid 70s then.
Yeah, in 76 they would return, but they did play at Yale for 2 years.
Where is Yale?
Connecticut.
Okay. So just down the road then, huh?
Well, on a good day, yes. On a bad day,
yeah. Well, it's New York City traffic, so.
Forget it.
I would love to see snow in the Army Navy game in Philadelphia.
That would be
Oh,
fun.
that might happen.
That would
That
be
could be.
It
I
did-
love a weather game.
It did.
I love a.
So I know they had it snow a few years ago. So
There was a bowl game in Texas a couple years ago that had snow. It was in, I forget which game that was. That was a crazy ass game.
Sun Bowl?
Was it the Sun Bowl?
Yeah.
I don't remember, but it was crazy.
wait, it snows in Texas? I didn't know it snowed in Texas.
Yeah,
Just not that often, but it can snow in Texas.
northern Texas. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, it
It
snows
doesn't,
in Florida
doesn't
too.
happen often. Doesn't happen often, Bradley,
No.
but it does happen.
It snows in northern Florida too. So there you go.
Yeah, there was the first or second year I lived in South Alabama. I'm like in Gulf Shores, right there on the water. We got snow.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
I lived in East Tennessee for 2 years now, and we had snow back in February of this year.
There you go.
That was weird.
Yeah, we got snow in May this year.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when you get to that point, when it snows in May, it doesn't hold together.
No, it doesn't stick to it.
You know, so you see it, but it's like, nah, this will be gone. This will be gone in 5 minutes. Nothing.
I've never experienced it in person, so I can't say anything about that.
Oh, you're in native Florida. Okay.
Yeah.
I went to New York, Lewis, about 4 or 5 years ago, and the weather forecast that it was supposed to snow at least a couple of days. It never got below 40 degrees the entire time I was there. The day I flew back to Tampa, it was 25 degrees outside. There you go.
It was 25 degrees this morning here.
Yeah.
It was gross.
So there you go. And I got back to Florida, and it was 85 degrees outside of Tampa.
Yeah, but they were forecasting this snowstorm back in February of 2010, March of 2010, and it says like snowmageddon and whatever. Expecting like 18 to 24 inches. I wake up and I find out we got a great big nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Only about a tenth of an inch. All that buildup. Oh, we're gonna get 2 feet of snow. We got next to nothing.
Yeah.
It all went to Buffalo.
Yeah.
Oh,
There you
yeah, Buffalo.
Lewis, how far are you away from Cooperstown up in upstate New York?
About 5 hours.
Okay. All right.
That's a day trip.
I gotta go. I'm gonna go to the Hall of Fame. I gotta get.
I know. I want to do that. I want to do the Hall of Fame tour. I need to get my passport.
I mean, Cooperstown is, I think, halfway between New York City and the Canadian border.
Okay.
Is it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, you could start in Canada at the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto,
I like
Right.
it.
to New York and see Cooperstown in the Boxing Hall of Fame, and then
Yep.
you can go to
Where's
Canton to go see. You can go to Canton to see NFL, and go to Cleveland to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then make your way down if you wanted to do something like that. Yeah.
You left out one.
I missed one.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
you did.
Oh, the NBA, right?
Yep. Naismith.
Springfield, Mass.
Okay.
Is it in? Okay. I was trying to remember how to spell Naismith.
Speaking of the NBA, there were some trades that went down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was waiting. I wanted to hear Lewis's comments on this. I was looking
John
forward to
Wall.
that.
John Wall got traded.
John Wall, yeah.
There you go.
Well, he's not really very well liked, to be honest. And
No, that's what I've heard.
he's not really doing anything for the Wizards. He hasn't brought them a championship. They never even got.
He's been hurt.
Still, he's not the whole team.
No. I'm just saying. He can't do anything because he's been hurt. I mean,
I know.
Yeah. Well, he was good in the backcourt with Bradley Beal. I mean, they
he
were
was
too much. He was healthy.
he was
When Wall
he was
healthy.
great. He was great until he got hurt. No, I was just echoing what you were saying there, Lewis. I was saying that you were saying he hasn't done anything great for Washington. I mean, he's been hurt. How can he do anything great when you've been hurt?
That's true. But still, I mean, you got the rest of the team too, and you got Bradley Beal. I mean, that wasn't enough to carry him. I wonder what my co-partner is going to say on the show Saturday. Oh boy, he's a Wizards fan, and Cam Newton's his cousin. So
Really?
yes.
Well, then you had the Lakers sign Anthony Davis and LeBron James big contract.
Yeah,
Big contracts.
That's about combined what, $300 gazillion?
Give or take, couple gazillion.
Davis got a 5-year, $190 million max contract.
Yep.
And LeBron got 2 years, $85.7 million extended.
Okay.
I believe technically the technical term for that is gobs and gobs of money.
Right. Well, draw your own conclusions to that, but
to keep a team together that can win another title again next year and repeat.
Well, that's a little hard.
That team can three-peat.
Okay.
They could, but it's awful tough, to win back to back, especially in this day and age with all the free agency and trying to break up the team
Right.
and not.
Keep a super team together.
I mean, the super teams are gone. It's not like back in my generation, where you had, teams win 3 in a row, 4 in a row, like the Islanders did 4 in a row. Excuse me.
You had something caught in your throat there?
That was intentional.
I figured as much.
Yeah, when you hear the Islanders, I'm like, excuse me.
Yeah, I have that same reaction when I talk about Ohio.
So there you go.
Yeah. The New York Islanders upsuckers. Okay. Anyway. Or the Yankees, win 5 in a row.
Right. Or 3 in a row in the late 90s.
Yes, but also,
did they win? They actually won. Did they win 3 in a row or 4 in a row in the late 90s?
3.
3?
Well, remember, it was 98, 99, and 2000, so...
Right, and they went to 4 in a row.
Should have won in 2001.
It should have
been a storybook ending to that season.
I just sat there for 20 minutes that night. I'm like, how could this happen?
Did you set a single tear?
I almost
just a single tear.
I was just like, I just ripped my hair on my head that day too. Ugh.
No, 06.
Really, no reality, Lewis. I'll be honest. That's probably the year I was pulling for the Yankees to win the World Series out of 9/11.
Yeah.
Because of 9/11, we were all hoping that the Yankees would win it to kind of not, make that day go away, but kind of put a little Band-Aid on the city for some excitement.
Sure.
Or winning a championship,
And in 2013 with the Boston Marathon.
Yeah.
I'm not a Red Sox fan either, but I'm glad it did happen now. Because that was a victory for us all. True. More so for the Red Sox because they won that at home, and that was very fitting.
Yeah, first time in 90 years they won the World Series at home. Yep.
Right.
The Lakers winning one for Kobe this past year.
Yeah.
There you go.
As much as I was rooting for for Miami, it was nice to see the Lakers get one for Kobe.
Didn't Roy Jones Jr. have his gloves purple and gold for Kobe in the fight?
Did he?
Yes,
he might have.
Yeah, as a tribute.
Yeah.
It
was that. Feels
2 years.
I know it was only 10 months ago, but it already feels like 10 years.
Yeah. That was, I think, the first. That was, I think, what started the chain of the bad year that we've been having.
Yeah.
No, wait. I think I have to backtrack a bit. That former Commissioner David Stern passing away on January 1st. So
there you go.
That's the reaction, the domino effect. Kobe, and then that set off, what we're seeing now.
It's a downward spiral, if you will.
Yeah.
Well, then also too, we had that horrific crash at Daytona. That was
set
it all. I remember Adam calling my Monday show. It's the only call I've ever had. He called in. There's been an accident.
Give us a number. We'll call you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm working on that. So
he's changed the format on that show.
Yeah, I changed the format. Yeah. It was just
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was still early. We was just getting that show.
Gladly called you that was done on the other show.
Yeah.
I can't hang out on the Monday show because I got to be in bed, so I can get up in the morning at the crack of dawn to go to work.
Right. Okay, I get it.
So I don't usually check in the Monday show, but I was just watching the race, and Newman had that horrific wreck, and we thought, the reason I called Brad is because I thought we had lost Newman, and I was like, and because it was happening, it was like, okay, I can sneak this in here and get on this because it happened at Daytona. It's in Florida, so we're just gonna kind of sneak it in there, and I called him to and we thought for 20 minutes about it, and then giving you live updates is.
Yep, I remember. Yeah, and then I actually was like, okay, I'm gonna make sure tomorrow morning that I check on see what's going on with him. Newman walking out of the hospital at 3 or 4 days.
That was more remarkable, though. I mean, he was, the car was a wreck. He was a wreck, in critical condition. And 3 days, hey, I'm getting out of here. All right, see you.
2 days later, he walks out with his daughters in his arms.
Yep.
It's incredible.
Like that with that scratch too.
Yes, just a concussion.
Yeah. My hand hurts, but I'm fine. What's a little concussion? Yeah.
Yeah. He's back in the car 6 weeks later.
That's true. That is nothing short of remarkable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just nothing true.
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely. So it looks like, guys, the NFL Hall of Fame ballot, there's a couple of new names to be added to the 25 semifinalists. That would be Peyton Manning, Charles Woodson, and Calvin Johnson.
Hmm.
So you see Peyton as a first ballot Hall of Fame?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow. Yeah.
If he
not a
does,
question.
it's
How
something
about
else.
Charles Woodson?
Next question.
Charles Woodson would be in there.
Yep.
He'd be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yep.
Yes.
You see Calvin Johnson getting in there. I don't think
Yeah.
maybe. You
Absolutely.
See, okay.
First ballot, I don't know.
Absolutely. He's the best receiver of a generation.
Hmm.
And the only reason he's not going, the only reason anybody questions it is because he played in Detroit for 9 years.
Well,
If he had played anywhere else, he would have been. Look at his numbers. Look at his contributions. He's the only reason Matthew Stafford had anybody to throw to. Matthew Stafford would throw. They'd have 11 guys on him, and and Stafford would still throw him the ball, and he'd catch it too.
Yeah. Yeah, because it says, however, Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, and Hines Ward also are nominated. It's likely Johnson will have to wait in line for his enshrinement. So they predict all 4 of those guys to get in. Torrey Holt, Reggie Wayne, Hines Ward, and Calvin Johnson. I agree with that.
To be in there.
All 4 of them will get into the Hall of Fame someday. Yeah. So then you have, of course, John Lynch, Rodney Harrison.
They both need to be in.
Name.
All 3 of those guys, Faneca,
Harrison, and Lynch.
all need to be in.
How about Rondé Barber?
Rondé, I would put him in, but he doesn't have to be a first ballot. I wouldn't, I'd vote for him.
Yeah, maybe second or third ballot though.
Yep.
I wonder who is on the ballot, guys, that is actually going to be off of it after a certain. Because you're on there for so many years, and you get off, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I'm not sure who's
15.
15 years? Is that what it is? Yeah. Okay. So if you're on the ballot for 15 years and you are off, well, I hope it doesn't get to like.
I personally don't see how you're on that for 15 years and not get in. I mean, what's wrong with you?
See, more guys should. It's the Hall of Fame, for Christ's sake. It's not the Hall of Greatness. It's the Hall of Fame. It's supposed to be guys who are famous for playing football. There's a lot of talk about Eli. Does he deserve to go in or not? Well, is he famous for playing football or is he not? He doesn't. He doesn't have the numbers like a Marino or an Elway. But he's got 2 rings. He beat the best team to have ever played the best team to have ever played football twice.
Yep. Right.
I mean, how do you keep out guys like Eli? I mean, Joe Namath's in the Hall of Fame, and all he did was win 1 Super Bowl.
Right.
I understand. Okay, Brad Johnson's not a Hall of Famer. Fine, he was mediocre at best. Carson Palmer's a borderline Hall of Famer. Probably not. But when you look at the guys like Alan Faneca or Charles Woodson or Rondé Barber, or there's a whole bunch of names on that list. I wish I had the list in front of me. I had it at one point and I lost it. There's about
Richard Seymour's on that list too. As far
he's borderline. He's borderline.
Okay.
But I would say I mean, he's got 3 rings. He was an integral part of the early 2000s Patriots defense.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think everyone should get in. I mean, again, you're right. It isn't the Hall of Greatness. It's the people that made the game great throughout the years. I mean, there's the funny thing about Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson. They have something that Jim Kelly or Dan Marino don't have. The Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
There you go. And both of them have one. And both Kelly and Marino are in the Hall of Fame, respectively. But I'm just saying, it's sad to think about.
I think Jim Kelly was famous for losing 4 Super Bowls. So
2 great quarterbacks like that. I think Marino was in 1 Super Bowl his rookie season against the 49ers, right? Against Joe Montana, right? Is that who they were playing against?
Yep.
Okay.
And he said that this was easy to be back, and he never got back.
Never got back. Nope. And it's funny because some of those Dolphin teams that he played on were pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, surprising that they never got back. to the big game at all.
Yep.
Because they were pretty good. They were pretty good
Or
for a couple of those teams.
I
So what were you, speaking of the NFL, guys, what were your thoughts of last week's games? Anything jump out at you on Thanksgiving?
The Lions are terrible, and I hate my life.
The two Thanksgiving teams.
The Lions are terrible, and I hate my life.
Well, how about Atlanta beating the crap out of the Las Vegas Raiders? How's that?
That is a kick in the dick.
How's that for a shocker? There. The Bills and the Chargers were a close football game. I don't think we thought that was going to be a blowout.
No.
The Giants beating the Bengals by 2 points. That's interesting.
Yeah, that was a huge win for the Giants. The Giants absolutely had to have that one.
Are the Giants the division leader right now? Who's
they are.
They are the division leader? Okay. All right. Then we had Tennessee beat the Colts. I don't think that's the last time those two teams see each other.
You think they'll meet in the playoffs?
NFC South, I think so. I don't know if they'll meet in the playoffs, but they're both playoff-bound teams, in my opinion. So those two.
That was the. I was just saying because they've played 2 games for the year already.
And now we have the scenario of the Cleveland Browns making the playoffs this year. So again, another weird year.
And it's 2020.
2020. We have a weird year that the Browns are going to make the playoffs. Minnesota beat the Panthers by 1 point. The Patriots got a game-winning field goal to beat the Cardinals.
Well, a week too late, man. A week too late.
Yeah.
The Jets continue to look mediocre against the Dolphins.
Of course.
The Saints annihilated the Broncos with no quarterback.
I've got to step up and take my medicine.
Quarterback.
No quarterback.
I gotta
play without one.
4 quarterbacks. 4 quarterbacks are all together. Oh, yep, you're out. 1 quarterback test positive, you're out.
Right.
Good luck.
But
wish you best of luck.
How do you play without quarterbacks, though?
Badly. That's how you play.
That's exactly what it was.
I had the misfortune of having that game as my Sunday afternoon game, the late game on CBS.
Oh, the Saints and the Broncos?
Yeah, that was my late game.
Maybe we came on excited to watch the games.
As I gotta say, I want to step up and take my medicine. As a sports commentator, I was wrong about the Dolphins.
Yes.
I overvalued them. I undervalued the Saints. I was not expecting them to continue to be as strong as they have been. I really thought they would kind of crater without their leader, without Breeze. And everyone stepped up. The defense, the offense, the whole team.
When you have Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, it doesn't hurt.
It don't hurt. The defense has played outstanding too.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to have both of those guys. If you thought that you underestimated them, then a lot of people overestimated the Buccaneers because they have to be overestimated.
Yeah. Well,
Well, when you thought
they're not as far down as I think that they look.
Well, they have 4 games left. You see them
right.
4. They have the Vikings, the Lions, and 2 against Atlanta remaining on the schedule.
They'll go on. Those are 4 winnable games.
11-5 will be their record. That's where I think I had them at 10-6.
Yeah, I think I had them at 11-5 or 10-6, and
3-4.
That's not. I mean, that to me, I know the Kansas City game last week going down 17-0 in the first quarter was not a good way to show.
Yeah.
A start that you wanted. Then Green Bay annihilated Chicago. The Seahawks.
You saw that coming.
Yeah, the Seahawks got by at Philadelphia on a last-second touchdown by here.
Well,
and then, of course, the game yesterday in the middle of the week.
Which was weird. It was awesome. I'm finishing up work. I got like 40 minutes of work left, and I got a football game on.
That's so.
It was awesome. It was awesome. The last 40 minutes of the workday flew by.
I think it was. Go ahead, Lewis.
I mean, I like the idea. A Wednesday afternoon football game. Why not?
Started at 5 though. Started a little bit later.
3:30.
It was 3:30.
I don't get out of work till 4:30. 5 o'clock would be better for me.
It was the first time they had played a Wednesday game since like World War II.
Was it?
last time that they
I
played.
didn't know they'd ever played a Wednesday afternoon game or a Wednesday game.
There's only been like 3 in the history of NFL.
It was the longest. It was the longest week in NFL history.
Yeah.
True. That's true.
It started on. That's what they were saying on the broadcast. Was it started on Thursday at noon and culminated with the Ravens Steelers game on Wednesday afternoon at 3:40.
The only reason why they ended the afternoon because they wanted to air the Christmas tree lighting at Rockefeller Center at night.
Yeah.
So you got to figure that out.
Yeah. And because they were expecting a snowstorm in Pittsburgh on Tuesday morning, so they postponed the game another day.
Oh, that's why it was postponed. I thought because more tests were coming in from
what I hadn't heard of any more tests, but I'd heard about a snowstorm, and they were predicting a pretty massive snowstorm in Pittsburgh on Tuesday.
No, that's normal for them this time of year. I mean,
Yeah.
they get snow in August in Pittsburgh.
So now this week, guys, we got the Saints at Atlanta. I don't know about that. Falcons,
That's easy. That's an easy one.
I'll take the Saints, but
we have Detroit at Chicago.
can they both lose?
Yes.
Tie. You get a tie. You have the
I'll take Chicago.
Indianapolis Colts at Houston to play the Texans.
I'll take the Colts.
I'll take India.
You got Cincinnati traveling to Miami to play the Dolphins in Harvard.
Miami.
The Jaguars travel to Minnesota to play the
Vikings.
Okay. The Raiders are on the road in the Meadowlands to play the Jets.
Raiders.
The Browns head to Tennessee. That should be a good football game.
Ooh, that's the game I'll get.
That's
I'm gonna take Cleveland.
Good football game there. Then the 4 o'clock games start with LA at Arizona. That should be a good football game. Division
I'll take the Rams. Is that the Rams?
Yes.
It's at Arizona. They're in Arizona this time. You have the Giants at Seattle.
Seattle.
You have Philly at Green Bay.
Packers.
Philly.
You have New England on the road against the Chargers.
New England.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Okay. The Monday night or Sunday night game is Denver at Kansas City.
Chiefs.
Denver.
They have a game on Monday night. Two Monday night. Bills and 49ers, and then you have Washington at Pittsburgh.
Bills and 49ers. That game's in Arizona. I'm going to take the Bills.
Okay.
Bills.
And then you have Washington the Steelers.
Washington. Oh, Steelers.
And then there's a Tuesday game, Denver at Baltimore. So
Denver or Dallas?
I'm sorry, Dallas. I apologize.
I thought.
Yeah, Dallas.
Dallas at the Ravens.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
I want to take. I'm going to hedge my bets and say the Ravens as long as Lamar Jackson plays.
Okay.
I'm still going to go with the Ravens regardless. Dallas can't really. I mean, they've been bad all year, so I don't know how they're going to.
Yeah, but the Ravens looked absolutely pitiful with RG3 and Trace McSorley and at quarterback yesterday.
Yeah, well, at least they had a quarterback because the Broncos sure didn't. So at least you have starting under
quarterback in name only.
Yeah, a guy that had RG3 hadn't taken a snap since 3 or 4 years ago.
Something like that, yeah.
Since he had been a starter. So, yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Josh Gordon's been reinstated?
Yeah.
The last 2 games. He's in Seattle, right? Is that who signed him? Seahawks?
Yep.
Yes.
He'll be available for the last 2 games.
Would you rather have him or Antonio Brown?
Neither.
Okay. Just asking, throwing that out there.
Or something.
I think Antonio Brown's signing was a mistake.
Oh yeah.
At the initial I thought it was all right. I'm regretting that signing now. I think it messed up the timing and the chemistry.
Well, we all do things we all regret.
Right. Waking up every morning. I kid.
Well, I mean, it definitely ruined the timing with Godwin and Evans with Brady.
Yes.
I think that I don't think it destroyed it. I think it just slowed it down enough.
Yeah.
It's Mike,
it's just off.
Yeah, they are off.
It's just off enough to be it's just tweaked the chemistry enough where nothing, where everything was meshing pretty well. Now nothing is meshing properly.
True. No, I agree with that. I mean,
who did Tampa have this week?
They're on a bye.
Oh yeah.
Bucks are on a bye week this week, so they got Minnesota at home in week 14.
Oh yeah.
The buys aren't there?
I think
it got flexed because of the COVID.
Okay. Because normally the buys are by before Thanksgiving gets here.
Yeah. Usually the last buy is before Thanksgiving, isn't it?
Something like that. Yeah, they got the late buy this because when the schedule came out, everybody's like, "Oh, they got a bye week in week 13. What happens if they're all hurt?" Oh well, you try to get to the bye week, and they went into the bye week on a 2-game losing streak. Yeah. So there you go. So I mean,
the time that it was this.
Yeah.
Is when they first went to a 17-week season, and every week somebody did a bye week. But other than that, no.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think Tampa Bay is as doomed as it might seem. They only lost to Kansas City by 3. They got to clean up the beginning of the game.
Right.
Take care. And it's like it's like we always talk about it, and it doesn't matter. Like I was saying earlier in the show, just now in this show. It's the same things that fundamental football, gap control, assignment football. Know where you are on the field. Get your hands down. Play within the framework of your body. No holding. No hands to the face. No face masks. No stupid penalties. Don't false start on 3rd and 1.
Right. Yep. No, I agree with that. The Bucs have to establish a running game too. They've gotten away from that. They had 200 yards against Carolina, and they've gotten away from that. I don't know what Byron Leftwich is doing. I'm not the offensive coordinator, so I can't tell you, but obviously he's not calling the right play. And maybe it's time for Arians to take over play calling. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. I think they're relying too much on the deep ball.
Yeah.
And it's not there. It's just not there right now. And that's the thing about establishing a running game is that it helps you be able to throw that deep ball.
Play action.
Because not just play action, but just throwing the ball. Because the safety has to respect the. You don't even have to run. Don't even have to run play action. If you have a back in the backfield, the safeties can't just stay to the outside and play coverage.
True.
They have to stay at home. They have to stay in the middle of the field, which allows you to run those double moves and gets you a lot more one-on-ones. If you have a solid running game, you don't have to run play action. If you have a solid running game, you can just play. They can't just play coverage.
True. No.
It keeps the linebackers have to come up and play run, so you've got all that the middle of the field is open to work.
Correct. Well, gentlemen, that is pretty much all I had this week. Anybody want to fill in any final thoughts before we hop off here?
We're gonna wrap it up early tonight, huh?
Yeah, I gotta get up early. So yeah,
right. I got to put this information for Saturday's show. I say, guys, you're both welcome to come in, and you're welcome to come in too. On Saturday's show, the Enhanced Sports Show.
Okay,
we're on 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern time. You're in the East Coast, right, Adam?
Yeah, I am.
On the East Coast. Yeah.
Just want to be sure of that. Number's the same number as this one, 512-543-4662.
Okay.
We got a bunch of stuff to talk about, because we're doing the final. We have the final month of the NFL season, so we'll keep up on the standings. We'll review the Tyson Jones fight and see if anybody agrees with that. We'll also talk with the first how Vanderbilt football made history last week, and I think you guys know I'm talking about that.
No kicker. Yeah.
Womp.
I know, but she did. I thought it was pretty good actually, and of course we'll take other thoughts with the college basketball Hall of Fame or the college basketball Hall of Fame. They are separate, by the way.
And, I did not know that.
Yes, there is separate. So
I didn't know there was. I thought the Naismith High with the basketball Hall of Fame.
Yeah, but there is a college basketball Hall of Fame too.
I did not know that. That's cool.
There. So there'll be a lot of stuff to talk about, plus our usual features. So if you got time between 5 and 7 on Saturday, call in. Bradley, I'd love to hear from you too.
Yep.
I
Yep.
know you're going to be in a charity event, but hey,
I will be.
Tell us how it went.
Well, here's the cool thing. The charity event gets over at 5. I got to rush to get to a Christmas party. So you know what I'll do? I'll mark the number down, and when I get done, Lewis, I'll call. I'll be the first caller on the air at 5 o'clock. I'll do that. So I'll be in the car. There's no excuses. I'll be driving.
Right.
There's no excuses. So I'll be driving the car. So, yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. So I hope you're going. All right.
All right. Have a good night, Lewis. Thank you.
Good night, fellas.
Good night, Lewis.
Well, I'll go ahead, guys, and wrap it up here again. This has been the Walker Report, part of In the Zone Sports Radio. My co-hosts, Adam and Lewis, thank you guys again this week. Again, we were off last week because of the holiday. I didn't want to come on here on Thanksgiving. And actually, guys, I think what we're going to do is we're going to run this show all the way to Christmas Eve. New Year's Eve, I have a family function, so I can't do this on New Year's Eve. But I will do Christmas Eve. I don't know.
I don't know if I'm going to be here for Christmas Eve.
Okay. If not, but it's okay. I mean, if I have to run solo or if I don't have Lewis either, then I'll say I won't do it that week either.
Right. Yeah, I was kind of figuring we wouldn't be back until after the holidays there.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the case, that's fine. I mean, we got this week, we got next week, so that's fine.
The week after that. So yeah, the 3rd, the 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th, and then take a couple weeks off.
Will work with me. That's fine. We can do,
whatever you want to do. It's your show, so.
No, that's fine. I mean, because like I said, that way that gives me a chance to, relax on Thursday night that week. And if I have anything planned, I can plan around that. That'll work for me. So again, guys, this has been the Walker Report. And if you want some In the Zone sports gear, head over to squadlocker.com, type in the Zone Sports Talk Radio. Website will present itself where you can order your zone gear. The holidays are coming. Actually, guys, how crazy this is. We're only 22 days away from Christmas. The year's
How did that happen?
22 days. I know it's been a miserable year for a lot of people, but the holidays do bring out some cheer. As you can see, I put Christmas lights around.
I saw that. I like that.
The holidays coming. Buy some family and friends some sports gear. Again, my show is also sponsored by creatingzenspaces.com. Actually, my good friend who I've known since high school owns that business. The local choice in St. Petersburg, Florida for house cleaning, organization, decluttering, and pet sitting. It's about finding the peace within you and adding comfort to your life. With that, guys, I am going to jump off here. We started the show early. We're going to end the show a little bit early. I was busy at work today. I didn't get a lot of time to get that notes together, so that happens sometimes. I probably started to do it on Wednesday instead of Thursday, but
it's been a messy week anyway.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been. Like I said, I got a golf tournament Saturday, so I'm excited about that. So
yeah.
I'm going to give Lewis's show a phone call at 5 o'clock.
Right. If I ain't got anything going on and I remember, I'm going to try and jump in there and give him a call too.
Other than that, I mean, before I go, is there anything you want to add, man? Anything going on?
I'm just going to say, I got to, how do I put this without F1's stewards did an excellent job on Sunday after the horrific accident with a Gorgian. I don't remember how to pronounce his name. Drives for Haas. He did a bonehead thing and tried to cut the track in half and clipped another driver and went head on into the Armco and cut his car in half and burst into flames.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was a nasty wreck and walked away with it with all he had was second-degree burns to the back of his hands.
Wow, good for him.
I know, right?
Very lucky.
Very incredibly lucky. It was. If it had been concrete, he would have been a very much different story.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I will close on that.
All right, man. Well, like I said, guys, thank you everyone out there that joined us on this evening. As I do before I sign off, thanks to the first responders, doctors and nurses, and essential workers who have been handling. You guys are the true heroes through this pandemic, since March. I'm one of the essential workers too, so I give myself.
Yeah, same.
But thanks to everyone.
Not nearly as essential as any of those people, though.
No, because I talked to my friend who's a nurse at the VA hospital here in Florida near me, and something that he preached to me the other day is wear your mask because the COVID numbers are starting to go back up, and he said wear your mask. The good news is, guys, there is a vaccine that is being
it's getting ready to roll.
Getting ready to roll it out. So that's a good sign. Hopefully
next week.
hopefully everything goes well with that. You know, the doctors and nurses will be the first ones to get it, which they should. They've been dealing with it every day since March, so they should get it first. Also, you know, guys, to the men and women of our armed services, both active, retired, and the ones who left us, thank you for your sacrifice. I wouldn't be able to talk to my microphone here 3 days a week, or, you know, have these two guys come on every Thursday and join me on this great show that has been very cool the last, you know, since we changed the format.
Last month.
So again, I'm looking, guys. We're gonna have 2 shows left in the year 2020.
Yeah, 2 more.
You know, 2021.
We'll start fresh in 2021.
Yeah, 2021 is to be powerful. It'll be a year of having a show like this all year long. So that'll be awesome to you know, to do.
I'll get more hats.
Yeah, to our
new hat.
Our police officers, firefighters, and paramedics. Thank you guys for keeping us safe domestically. Guys, again, thank you for joining me on this evening and joining my co-host as well. I actually changed the banner at the bottom of the thing because I used to say, I talk all sports. Well, I changed it to we because now there is we. There's not an I anymore. So
no I in team, Brad. No I in team.
There is a we now. So, but thank you guys. Again, I love everyone that comes in here to listen to us talk. Even if it gets you away from what's going on, I know there's nasty things going on in the world with.
That's why I come on here every week.
You know, the elections and everything else going on. So to get your attention away from the negative media that's out there, and I will say negative media. I'm not a negative person, but
no, it's been a lot of fun.
Get people out there that you know, all they want to do is to panic and everything else. So it is what it is, guys. But we will be back, guys, next Thursday. I'll be back on my Monday show on the Sunshine State Sports Jabber. So I'll see you guys Monday. Everyone have a safe weekend. And until then, guys, this is the Sports Nerd signing off.
The unofficial co-host.